don't forget your 5 P's. Today, I'll be going on your 5 P's. Our 5 P's today will be prayer, patience, peace, potential, and positivity. Now, sorry, my dog's following me, but most of these will go like if you have one, then you have the other one, and they're kind of connect to each other, so it'll be easier. And yeah, for example, prayer will go with peace, positivity will go with peace, potential will go with positivity. So all these words are alike in some status. First up, we have prayer. Prayer is the most important. That's why I put it as number 1. Prayer is what makes your relationship with you and God even better, because the relationship you have with Him is good, but when you start praying more than you often do, it becomes better. Because when you're in a relationship, you're not just gonna ignore the person, right? You're going to talk to them, and the more you talk to them, the better the relationship is, right? So prayer is really important because it can go for so many things. It could be prayer can go from thanking God on what you're thanking Him for. Prayer could be asking God for something. Prayer could be just talking something. Now, I know many times we tend for prayer to be like all fancy when we're talking to the Lord, but prayer can also be a conversation. It doesn't have to be a certain stuff you have to say every single day. And many people think that you have to say the same prayer every single day. No. Imagine you're talking to someone and you tell them the same words every single day. Aren't you gonna get tired of it? I'm pretty sure. So prayer could be a simple conversation like, Jesus, my day is going good today, because Jesus wants to know how you feel, like what you're struggling with, and what you're thinking about, what you want to achieve. Even though He already knows these things and He already knows you, He still wants you to tell Him about it, because it excites Him that you're talking to Him. For example, if you're in a relationship and you don't talk to your friends, and then you go up and you talk to your friends, they're probably going to be excited because you haven't talked to them in a while. And we don't just want to do prayer to just say, oh, I'll only pray when I need to. No, that's literally super bad. It's just like if a friend comes up to you and they only talk to you when they need something or when they want something, like they'll ignore you for a week, but once they tend to be like, oh yeah, can you have $20? I just really need them right now. Those are called freeloaders, and we don't want to be a freeloader to God. This is why prayer is really important. So never forget your number 1 P, which is prayer. Number 2 we have is patience. I know many of us tend to struggle with being patient because it can be so hard sometimes to be patient, because there's just a big line at the store, or traffic's everywhere, or you really need to get somewhere, but then there's so much traffic and there's red light and you don't have no patience. But patience can help you in your relationship with Jesus even better, or just to succeed in life. Patience is one of the best things you can offer someone, because you don't want a friend to be like, oh my gosh, hurry up, just when you barely got to the store, right? And now I get it. Sometimes it's hard for us to be patient because we really need to do something. For example, if we really need to go to the bathroom, it's hard for us to be patient because we really need to go to the bathroom, Or it's really hard for us to be patient when we're telling someone and they're just not listening. But it's also important for us not to get out of our anger zone and be like, hey, start complaining. It's important for us to keep our cool and always be patient. Even though we might be irritated, it's okay to be irritated. Just don't sin and don't start making a bunch of a big problem. Patience is a great thing, I would say, because when you're patient with others, when you tend to to care about stuff. When you tend to care about stuff, you tend to be patient. And I feel like many people in the world need patience-ness. Not just to show that you're patient, but to show that you care and actually who you are. I feel like patience can do a lot to you. But patience can also go with Jesus. Sometimes we pray and we're like, why haven't we gotten what we prayed for? Right? But we must know that, first of all, Jesus is the one that makes the decision if we get what we want. Because we might really want an Xbox, but Jesus says if you get an Xbox, then you're literally not going to do your homework. So he makes a decision because he sees forwards, but what you don't see. Patience can do a lot, so we can patiently wait while he answers our prayer. Our patience can wait while we get a blessing. So don't forget your second P, which is patience. Number 3 is peace. Peace can go with prayer. What was the last one? Patience can go with prayer. Peace. Peace is you being relaxed and just having no worry, no fear, no anything, not doubting, just being relaxed. I'm pretty sure we all like to have some peace to ourselves because no one wants to be all stressed out and this and that, right? But we also must know that if we want to get peace, then we must not give others, we must give peace to others. Because a person oh yeah, you owe me your money, this and that, to everyone, then we're not really giving them peace because they might be going through something and we don't really know that, and we're just giving them a bigger problem than they already have. So this is why peace can be important. We have to be peacemakers, which is said in the Bible that we must be peacemakers. Now, there's a difference between you being peace and then there being corruption. Once you get into a group of a bunch of bad stuff, or that does not have peace, it can tend to be harder to be peace because you're dealing with others who aren't have peace and you're having peace, so now you start to worry about others and then your peace kind of fades away. We must be peacemakers. We must help others to have peace as well. Because if you'd want to be stressed out, then we shouldn't want anyone else to be stressed out. Peace can also go into prayer, where you peacefully talk to God, saying, my day was great. I really had some delicious food. I played some basketball. I went on a walk. I saw my favorite sibling, cousin, which we tend to be peace. Which can be a hard part in the morning due to that we're in the morning we're trying to be rushed, we're trying to get ready, we're trying to be there on time. Which I know we don't like waking up early, but I would suggest generally putting your alarm a little earlier so you could take your morning with peace. Because the morning is how you start your day. And if you're starting your day with a bunch of, oh my gosh, chaotic stuff, I need to get dressed, I need to brush my teeth, I need to cook breakfast, I need to get my daughter to this school, and then I'm going to go drop on my son, and then, yeah. If you have work, then it's definitely harder, or if you definitely have school, it's also harder to be in the morning, because then you have to pay attention to class, or at work, you have to do your work when you're still, when you came out just out of a stressful situation. So definitely setting your alarm clocks earlier would help. Peace. That's pretty much all I have to say for about peace. Peace is really relaxing you and yourself. I also encourage you to try to be a peacemaker. Try to calm down situations when you see something that's going on and try to give peace. Or simply have a peaceful conversation. Number 4 is positivity. Positivity, I love this word. I love the word positivity because positivity can just go so far. Now, positivity does combine with peace and prayer and patience. Because when you're positive about stuff, you tend to be more patient. But also when you're positive about your prayer and you actually believe that it's going to happen, then it might actually have happened, because Jesus says put your faith in him and he will do. So if you put your faith in him, it will happen. So if you're being positive about something, then it's most likely it's gonna happen. But if you're being all negative, like, oh, I'm not gonna get to school on time, I'm not gonna go to school on time, you're probably not gonna go to school. If you're like, Lord, I'm being positive, I'm gonna go to school on time, I'm gonna go to school on time, and you're gonna go to school on time. You know, positivity can go so far on. I know many ways we tend to be negative. Some of us are a little too negative about things. Some of us are made. Some of us are almost never negative. But we also have to see the beauty in life, because negativity is surrounding us everywhere, and we need to be positive. We need to make the difference and be positive to others, and want others to be positive as well. Because when you're being all negative, saying like, oh, I hate life because I don't have my phone, or life is so boring, I don't have my phone, or oh my gosh, like I'm gonna fail my test, like isn't that these are simple habits that are making us as a person worse. Because when we tend to be positive, we tend to think about so much stuff we could do. We think about like how far we can go on. Positivity is generally great because it shows you that positivity, you tend to be nicer to people, you tend to care for people, you tend to be patient because you're being positive. You're like, okay, this line will not take as long, and I'm actually going to talk to this person right here to waste time. You know, also being So positivity, I really encourage you all to be positive about school, even though times can go really down and you might be going through something. I always want you to be positive about it and not complain about it, because when you don't really complain about things, you tend to be more humbled, and humbled is like what I want you all to be. Positivity can go so far. I know life is hard and we all get the time where we're just thinking about the most negative stuff, but then it's always important to be positive and look forward. Always try to be positive. I know it gets hard to be positive during certain times, but just always try your best. As long as you try, you are always what I say, as long as you try. Positivity is really great, I would say. Because if you learn to be positive, then you learn how to be patient. And if you learn how to be patient, you know how to do and pray. And you know how to pray, you know how to have peace. So all these words are technically combined. So if you really have one, then I feel like you have all those ones. And I really want you guys to embrace all of them. Positivity, please be a positive person, because if you want others to be positive about you and your success, then you should be positive to others. Always treat others the way you want to be treated, because I'm pretty sure we all get excited when we have good news to tell others, and the worst thing that could happen is to us and be like, no one cares, okay, whatever, no, we really want, we're really happy about this, and then it's just rude that someone comes up to us and tells us yeah, no one cares, why are you being so rude, I'm literally, don't you understand that I'm excited about it? Now sometimes this is how we treat others, but we just don't realize it. I've seen people, they always want others to be positive towards them, yet they're never positive to others. So it's always important to treat others the way you want to be treated. If you want to be treated with patience, if you want to be treated with peace, well, it's important that you give it out first, and you should. And it's also, I would say, life is easier when you tend to be positive about things and you don't stress yourself out. So yeah, that's number 4. Number 5, I almost mentioned this with number 4, but I didn't want to let it slip out and ruin the surprise. But number 5 is potential. once again, like I love this word, just like I love positivity. Potential. We have so much potential in us, and either what we do, we're all like unique and we're all special in our own way. And some of us don't realize how much potential we have in certain things. For example, let's say you're doing a sport and you start doubting yourself and you're like, oh my gosh. But some of us don't realize we have a lot of potential in our sport, or we have a lot of potential in what we like and what we do. If you're an artist and you like to draw, we don't realize how much potential you have. Because I've seen some people that say, oh, I really like to draw and this and to paint. And then I see their drawings, I'm like, whoa, like this person has so much potential. And the good thing about potential, it never ends. Because if you just keep doing good, then your potential will never end. And this is what I look forward to, you know, like when I try to get better at certain things, I always try to have a better potential. And you always have potential, even if you're doing bad, even if you're doing good, you always have potential. And this is what I really like about this word, that you don't have to be a certain thing. It's just, you always have it in you. And that's like, and your potential is like what makes you unique in certain things. Now, if you have potential, now I like if you're being like if you're realizing, oh, I do have potential, I want you to be positive about your potential. I want you to be patient with your potential. You know, like potential, there's just so many ways that word can go. Like if you like, I'll tell you my story. I played basketball last season and it was horrible. I really sucked, and like people would come watch my games. I'm like, you played well, and truly I know I didn't, and they just told me that so I could look good, but I knew I really sucked. And then I thought I had no potential, but I just kept playing. And now I got a scout watching me. So that's the thing about potential. You can go from bad. Like, I was bad, but I still had some potential, and I got better, and look how much potential I have now. Even when you're at your lowest, you can still have potential. And this is what I will convert this to Jesus, but your potential and his relationship, it matters, because potential is saying what your work and how much farther you can go. Like potential is saying you at this level, you can go to this level, seeing how far you can go. And you can go many ways. For example, sharing the gospel, you can simply send a video to someone, but you can go to a bigger potential where it's making videos. You can go to a bigger potential with sharing, like going up to someone and saying like, hey, you know, like I really want to share the gospel with you. A bigger potential is going to a crowd and standing up and saying Jesus loves you. A bigger potential is you like hosting a big group and just saying this. A bigger potential is like, I don't know, like the thing is, potentials can just grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and they'll never really go down. Like there's only one way up to potential, and it's truly up. So don't forget your 5 P's: prayer, patience, peace, positivity, and potential. That's pretty much what I have for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video was kind of long, but please stay to the end. And I will be saying I will not be posting on Wednesdays, because on Wednesdays I have game day, so it'll be Monday, Tuesday, blank, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. For this series, I still don't have a exact when to post, when to not post. I'm going to try to make videos when I can. But if you guys definitely want to tell me like, hey, I would really like you to make videos on this day, I will definitely do. Please stay tuned. And that's pretty much the video today. So don't forget your 5 P's. You guys want to see my dog?